Hey kids! Often it seems that Jesus had no stress, isn't it? We might feel he is God, all powerful. How come he had stress? But Jesus had a lot of things in his life on earth to be stressed about. During his ministry, he had no permanent home, no guaranteed source of food. People always had plotted against him. And on this Friday, 2000 years ago, Jesus was extremely stressed because Jesus was going to be crucified. What can be more stressful than knowing that you're going to die in a gruesome way? Mark 14:33 says, Jesus was greatly distressed and troubled. Come on, let's see how Jesus handled his stress.
Hey kids, as Joy said, have you ever had the feeling that Jesus wouldn't understand the stress you're going through? I'm going to show you what happened in the year AD 33. Did you know AD stands for Anno Domini, the year of the Lord? It is believed that in this year Jesus was crucified. On this Friday, 2000 years ago, Jesus went through extreme stress. We are going to travel back in time to the year AD 33 to the Gethsemane garden. Come on, let's see what our Jesus is doing in the garden. So what is Jesus going to do in the garden? He's going to kneel down and pray to God. You know, Jesus is extremely stressed because he's about to die in a few hours and he knows what they're going to do to him. Isn't that a lot of pressure? So what is he going to do about his stress? Let's take a look.
Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done.
And an angel from heaven appeared to him to strengthen him. And his sweat was as though it were great drops of blood falling to the ground.
Jesus submitted to God's will. He said to God, Lord, do what you want with me. And what happened? He was strengthened to fulfill his purpose to die for us. And nothing, not even his extreme stress, could stop him. He was able to complete his task because he surrendered to God's will. Let's take a look at what else happened to Jesus on this particular day.
The Jewish leaders and teachers did not like what Jesus was doing or how he claimed to be the Son of God. And so they made a plan to arrest him to get rid of him once and for all. Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, agreed to betray Jesus.
Come in.
And give him over to the religious leaders for some money. Jesus was in a garden praying, and Judas showed the man who Jesus was. Jesus was arrested and taken to the rulers of the land so that they could decide what to do with him. Jesus was presented before the high council, and they asked him if he was the Messiah, the Savior of the Jews. They asked him if he was claiming to be the Son of God. You say that I am. And the council was furious, and they shouted that Jesus was guilty and he deserves to die. So they took Jesus before the Roman ruler Pilate, and he heard the case against Jesus. Pilate didn't think that Jesus had done anything wrong.
Seems okay to me.
They found him to be innocent, so Pilate said that he would punish Jesus and then release him.
What?
But the crowd kept screaming louder and louder, "Crucify him! We want him dead!" And because of the pressure of the crowd, Pilate turned Jesus over to the Roman soldiers to be crucified. Jesus was hurt and spit on. His clothes were torn and taken from him, and a crown made out of thorns was put on his head. He was beaten so badly that he could barely stand on his own. And then he was forced to carry his cross so far up a mountain that he needed help because he could not do it on his own. Once Jesus made it to the place where he would be crucified, called the skull, the soldiers around him nailed him to the cross and waited for him to die. While Jesus was hanging on the cross, many people shouted to him, "If you really are the Son of God, save yourself from the cross." But Jesus knew he had to die to forgive his people for their sins. At noon, darkness fell across the whole land. 3 hours later, Jesus took his last breath and finally died. At that very moment, the curtain in the temple that separated the priests from God's holy place tore in two. A soldier watching the whole thing said, "This man truly was the Son of God." Then a righteous man named Joseph came and placed Jesus' body in a tomb.
It's not over yet, children. This Easter Sunday, we'll see how Jesus was raised from the dead. But keep in mind that Jesus, who gave his life for us, was the bravest person we've ever seen. And now we'll hear what we should do to relieve our stress.
Today, I'd like to teach you a tough medical term, hematohidrosis. You know, it's a very rare condition in which a human sweats blood. It may occur in an individual who is suffering from extreme levels of stress. You know, Jesus was sweating blood this same day 2000 years ago. Do you think Jesus was stressed? Oh yes, he was. But did he run away from dying on the cross for us? No. He gave up his life for us so that we can live a joyful life through him. Jesus went through so much just so that we could live a happy life. But are we happy today? Isn't it true that we let small things worry and stress us out? So what did Jesus do when he was overwhelmed and filled with sorrow? He fell face to the ground and said, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." He surrendered to God's will. Isn't it true? As a result of our stress, we take matters into our own hands and refuse to let God's will be done in our lives? Let us be more like Jesus, who even under extreme stress surrendered to God and received the strength to carry out his mission. So today, if you are going through problems which are worrying you and taking away your peace, just kneel down and say to God, "Jesus, I surrender this problem into your hands." And then the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will fill your hearts. God bless.
Today we are going to pray for our Metro Missions missionary, Mr. Parthiban, and his wife, Mrs. Chinnatali, and their children, Jaden and Joanna. Let's join Jacinth as she leads us in prayer.
ஏசப்பா, இந்த நாளுக்காக நன்றி ஏசப்பா. ஏசப்பா, இந்த வாரத்தில் நாங்கள் பாட்டி மாமாக்காக ஜெபிக்கிறோம். அவங்கள ஃபுல்லாக பாதுகாத்து ஆண்டவரே அவங்களோட வைங்க ஏசப்பா. ஏசப்பா, ஜேடன் நல்லா படித்து ஏசப்பா ஆண்டவரே வந்து அவனை பாதுகாத்துக்கொள்ளுங்க ஏசப்பா. ஏசப்பா, ஜோனாவையும் பாதுகாத்துக்கொள்ளுங்க ஏசப்பா. அவங்க நல்ல ஊழியம் செஞ்சு ஆண்டவரே உங்களோட உங்களோட கருத்தில் இருக்கணும். ஏசப்பா ஏசப்பா எல்லா வியாதிக்கிட்ட இருந்து அவங்கள விலக்கி பாதுகாத்து கொள்ளுங்க. ஏசப்பா ஜேடனை நல்லா படிக்க உதவி செய்யுங்க. ஏசப்பா ஏசப்பா அவங்க 2 பசங்களும் ஏசப்பா நல்ல பிள்ளைங்களா இருந்தால் ஆண்டவரே அவங்களும் ஊழிய செய்ய ஏசப்பா நீங்கள் அவங்களையும் வழி நடத்துங்க. ஏசப்பா பாத்திமாமா நல்லா ஊழியம் செய்ய ஆண்டவரே உம்முடைய பலத்தை கொடுங்க. ஏசப்பா இந்த நாள்லையும் ஏசப்பா அவங்க நல்லா சேஃபாக இருப்பாங்கன்னு நாங்கள் நம்புகிறோம். ஏசப்பா ஏசப்பா இவங்களோட ஃபேமிலியை நல்லா பாதுகாத்து பலிப்படுத்துங்க. ஏசு நாமத்தை ஜெபிக்கிறோம் ஜீவனுள்ள நல்ல பிதாவே, ஆமென்.
Hi friends, the memory verse for the day is seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. Proverbs 3:6 again. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. Proverbs 3:6. So friends, always seek God's will with prayers.